hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. What a day in football. I'm not gonna lie. What a freaking day in football. Most of the leagues are ending. Most of the leagues are coming to a close, pretty much. Everyone has played their games. There are a few leagues from the big leagues that haven't done it. For example, Premier League. But ultimately, still, transfer news are in action for Arsenal. One of the topics for today. And one of the big things we're going to talk about is, well, trophies. Let's just put it that way. One of the big things we're going to talk about today, definitely and 100% is trophies. And towards the end part of the stream, what we're going to do is basically we're going to talk about Arsenal versus Newcastle, because the fight for the second place is on. Whether you like it or not, Arsenal are in a fight for second place. It's not a title race, it's the second place race, basically. It's like a top 4 race type of thing happening here, basically. That's about it. There's nothing more to say. Arsenal have utterly and totally screwed up their season. Let's be real. Nothing more and nothing less left to say in that regard. But yeah, what we're gonna kick things off today is this. Congratulations to Crystal Palace. For the first time in their history, they have won a trophy, 170 years, something like that, in the making, but they have actually done it. So, if you're happy for Crystal Palace, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave your thoughts down in the live chat as we can discuss them and talk about them. But yeah, it's quite a wild ride. Crystal Palace, you could argue to some extent, were fantastic today. They did what they had to do. It could have been, yeah, City could have scored, but Crystal Palace also could have scored. Their well sides and everything. Quite nice game. The coaches were kicking off and everything. But yeah, Crystal Palace at the end came up as victors. Next season they're gonna play in Europa League. Congrats to them for that. So yeah, what I can say. What phase is Glasner in? Because Crystal Palace have won a trophy. Edin Nketiah has won an FA Cup, and Matt Turner, you can add him to the mix, also has won an FA Cup at Crystal Palace. They left us last summer and instantly they have won a cup. Phenomenal, isn't it? As players leave Arsenal, they win trophies. Ironic piece of situation, isn't it? Happened to Kolasinac, David Luiz, Hector Bellerin, Granit Xhaka, and all these players. They leave Arsenal and they start winning. Mysterious ways this world works, doesn't it? It works in very mysterious ways. But congratulations to Crystal Palace. They fully deserved it. Fully and utterly deserved it. They did what Arsenal couldn't do for the last 5 years. Win a trophy. Let's be real. Glasner in the wins FA Cup. Same amount as Mikel Arteta. And he did it with Crystal Palace. Not a big team. And he did it against Man City and other teams. So phenomenal achievement for Crystal Palace. Phenomenal to say the least. So congratulations to them. Big up Hyper Protagonist, big up, hope you're doing well today. Marlon was here before the stream kicked off and said, see what glory hunting gets you, City fan. Y'all started carrying Man City when Pep came, and some of y'all started carrying when Pep came. Stop supporting clubs for glory and come off Arsenal, mate. Every day Arsenal are in your mouth. Netflix FC next season and win. Wait, Netflix, this is about Arsenal. The first two about Man City. Arsenal are the same way, so don't have double standards. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's the same standards for us. Our fan base is just as bad. We banter everyone, and when someone claps back, we cry like little babies. That's what Arsenal fan base is. They cry like little babies as soon as they cannot take it. Same as, for example, Igal. He trolls everyone on Twitter, on X, about situations, yet when one of those teams clap back, one of the fans clap back, instantly, oh, this is disgraceful, unacceptable, how can you do this, and all this stuff. It is actually kind of insane, to say the least. Netflix FC, this is when you can't focus on your own club and stay on other people's club's names. It's a cup, no, you don't give a fuck if Nketiah wins a trophy. Nketiah has won a trophy, and Matt Turner as well, so quite fantastic for Crystal Palace, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care, because I'm happy for Crystal Palace, and ironically enough, this has put us in a very awful situation, let's be real, because Crystal Palace, London-based club, has won a trophy. Spurs are in a final, London-based club. They can win a trophy. Chelsea, London-based club, and can win a trophy. So of all the clubs that are somewhere in competitions to win a trophy, Arsenal are the only one that cannot do it. As that sounds utterly unacceptable. For a team that is Arsenal, right? I released today a short on YouTube. If you haven't, go check it out. Leave a like and a comment on that. Which basically stated that none of the big six teams would take Mikel Arteta and won't tolerate Mikel Arteta. Let's be real. For 5.5 years with one trophy. Or last 5 years with no trophies. Let's be real. Because City wouldn't even sign him. Liverpool don't give a crap. Doesn't fit their style. They also wouldn't sign him. Spurs would sack him in the first season. Or second. Same would also Manchester United, and same would do Chelsea. Arsenal is the only club that tolerates this crap. Utterly and totally tolerates this situation. So that is totally and utterly unacceptable, in my opinion. And yeah, another season down the drain. Good job, Arsenal. Good freaking job. Phenomenal. Margins, situations, evolutions, squeezing lemons, pickpocketing their own players, win the dog, and all this stuff. And we are a massive, massive banter club. That is utterly a disgrace. Not gonna lie, as I said, I'm happy for Crystal Palace. But isn't that telling a lot about Arsenal? Let's just put it that way. Isn't that telling a lot? In other news, as always, working with a smile. Which sounds good. You should be happy at your work, right? You should be happy with doing everything you love, but working with a smile, you know? Working with a smile. The issue is we work with a smile, but we have nothing to show for it. Again, nothing to show for it. No FA Cups, no Carabao Cups, no FA Cup in 5 years, no Carabao Cup in 32 years, no European trophy in 31 years. Champions League, we have never won. Premier League and everything, we have won nothing. Working with a smile, you know. Working with a bloody smile. Utterly and utterly insane. Moving swiftly on to Kai Havertz. He was in training today. And it looks like he is also in the team training where he is in physical training. He's playing against players. Which ultimately could mean that he is going to play tomorrow. Whether he's going to start or not, I don't know. But given the situation that he is in trainings, which is he's back, that obviously means that. And that Mikel Arteta yesterday said that he's going to decide whether he's going to play tomorrow or not is a completely different thing. But looks like he's in training. He's doing his all the necessary things. We actually might see Kai Havertz back tomorrow. Don't worry, our season is saved. Kai Havertz is back, you know. Our season is saved. But here is the big one. Eberechi Eze. An Arsenal fan, by the way. He is an Arsenal fan. He used to be in Arsenal's academy, got cut from the academy, had some rough times he had after that, but he's back. He's back. He scored for Crystal Palace the winning goal against Man City. So we'll see how this goes, but he is available this summer for £68 million. Those are his release clauses. Since Man City have diverted their attention to Wirtz, it doesn't look like he's on the cards for them. They have been monitoring him. Obviously, that's not news for anyone. He's been quite fantastic this year for Crystal Palace. Now, the biggest thing is, though, about him, he tends to be at times like hot and cold type of player, right? Despite that, genuinely despite that, I would take him at Arsenal. I absolutely would take him at Arsenal because I like how Eze plays. I like what he brings to the team. 68 million, apparently it can be paid in installments. Allegedly, who knows? Obviously. And Arsenal love an installment, we all know that. So isn't that telling a lot as well about this situation? However, given the fact that Crystal Palace have won the FA Cup, and again, congratulations to them. Congratulations to Glasner. What phase is Glasner in, by the way? What phase is Glasner in? Big up, Abby. Ogunleye, big up. What phase is our Palace in? So sick if Legohead and his cult supporters. Exactly. What phase is our Palace in? What phase is Glasner in? Edin Nketiah lifts a trophy today. Same amount of trophies as Mikel Arteta. Matt Turner lifts a trophy today as well. He plays for Palace. So let's not forget that. So there are, again, those players that leave Arsenal. Win trophies. Sick of Legohead and his cult supporters. Exactly, because everyone was supporting Crystal Palace today, by the looks of things, besides Man City fans, obviously. I was supporting Crystal Palace today, because ultimately, I'm a person who loves football and who loves a good underdog story. And that was one of the ultimate underdog stories what could it you could have to some extent, right? At the same time, it also hurts. Because, as I said, London teams that can win trophies this season. Palace have done it. Spurs, Europa League final. Chelsea, Carabao, Conference League final. Arsenal is the only one from the big arguably, London clubs that have won nothing. Obviously, there's Fulham in there, but it is what it is. And it hurts just because small teams take these cups seriously. Well, some of them at least, definitely. Solely because due to the fact that they know they're not going to win the league. And it showed today. That you could see that Crystal Palace won it more. Henderson saved a penalty. He made some clutch saves and everything. And that is one of the biggest things. One of the biggest things, exactly. I'm happy as hell for Palace. They deserve it, 100%. I'm happy for Palace as well. I was supporting Palace in this game. I was an eagle today. I felt like an eagle. Today, I feel like an eagle. And all this stuff. At the same time, it hurts. Because you see other teams picking up trophies. Newcastle won Carabao Cup. They hadn't won a cup in like 50 odd years. Crystal Palace had never won a cup in their history, 170 something years, and they won it. Right? Then you obviously have Liverpool who won the league. Spurs or Man United are going to win Europa League. Chelsea could win Conference League and everything. And yet this fan base have the nerve after this game to go out and troll Man City. They have the nerve to say that we are one of the biggest teams in England. We are. Trophy-wise, definitely we are. But in the last years, you wouldn't say so, would you? We have nothing to show for it. None of the big teams would take us, would take our manager. And the biggest thing is, Europa League final, right? United wins it, they get in the Champions League, right? Doesn't matter, we're not talking about that. United win it, right? For United, it will hurt because Arsenal-United rivalry is one of the biggest rivalries I have grew up on. Wenger versus Sir Alex, Keane versus Vieira, and all this stuff. I have grown up on it. So that for me is a very big rivalry, right? It will hurt because it would be another trophy for Man United. However, if Spurs win it, it's the be-all end-all for Arsenal. It should be be-all end-all for Arsenal. Because one of the biggest things is we trolled Spurs because it's Spursy, because they don't win nothing. In my lifetime as a Premier League football fan, in general, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen genuinely Spurs pick up 1-2 trophies. I might be miscalculating, but I haven't seen them do much. Let's be real, I haven't seen them do much, especially in the last 15 odd years. They haven't done nothing. Let's be real, to some extent. To some extent, they have done nothing. And now there is a big possibility that if Spurs win it, they will something to brag about. You know how we say North London is red when we win against Spurs and everything? Spurs always is like little bro to us. But if they win this Europa League, Spurs have better pedigree in Europe than Arsenal. Because Arsenal, as in Champions League, Europa League, they have never won it. Yes, it was before that European Cup or whatever it was called 32 years ago. They won it then. But now it's something different. We haven't won Champions League. We haven't won Europa League. We were in the final in Europa League and we absolutely crumbled there 4-1 against Chelsea. Baku again and all this stuff. Absolutely embarrassing. And that is the biggest thing. Exactly, if Spurs win, it will be very hard to take, to say the least. Because that comes from the mentality. From the mentality of the fan base. Because this fan base has almost no standards. They're happy being in top 4. They're happy finishing second. They're happy, oh, but we give it a shot and all this stuff. We signed Calafiori and Merino and they say it's 7-8 out of 10 window. In which universe? If this is 7 or 8 out of 10 window, you would think we win the league. And now if you look at it, Glasner won FA Cup, proving that it doesn't take time to win trophies. Liverpool, Slot comes in, makes few tweaks, wins the league. Instantly. No questions asked. Buys Chiesa, who is injured for half the time and doesn't even play almost at all. Think about it. And then if you add on top of that if you look at the Premier League winners in recent times, teams that have won the Premier League besides Man City, none of the teams play football like Man City does. Klopp doesn't play like that. Slot doesn't play like that. Chelsea, when they won it under Conte, they didn't play like that. Leicester didn't play like that at the time. Only Arsenal play like City, and then they think that they can basically, we are the Karate Kid, quote unquote. Pep and City are Mr. Miyagi. And in which universe do you think we can outdo Mr. Miyagi in his own craft, which they themselves have created at the end of the day? Yes, maybe Pep has taught Mikel Arteta almost everything he knows. No argument about that. But he hasn't taught Mikel Arteta everything Pep knows himself, because that would be absolutely stupid from his point of view, because he's going head to head against Arteta for the title. And if you add in that all the inexperience and everything, it's absolutely insane. Big up AFC, always hope you're doing well today. Palace just matched Arteta's 805 million phase 5 plan, same trophies, no dog. Exactly, no dog, no lemons, no light bulbs, no speakers with you never walk alone and everything. No Netflix, no movies or something. They just went, played their hearts out, hard work, and they did it. Look at their squad. They have players in their team I would take at Arsenal, which just shows that our team is nowhere near good enough to do anything. Because Palace, if you look in the grand scheme of things, have no right to be in the final, because they played Villa and they played teams like that. They should not be beating them with the team they have and against the players they played in other teams. At the same time, they have proper manager who has won trophies in Austria, in Germany, who has won the Europa League, by the way, where Crystal Palace are gonna be next year. So he knows how to win cup competitions. They have the mentality, they have the manager. And if the manager knows how to install the proper mental aspects, proper tactics and strategy into the players, they're gonna win. And we have none of that with our manager, because he hasn't won anything. Only time we won something was with 5 at the back. A formation we have never gone back since. We saw that it worked. We saw 2.5 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, what worked for us in Premier League when we blitzed teams. Now we do none of that. We have had multiple times the blueprint, what to do, how to do. Make few minor tweaks, sign maybe 1 or 2 players for the specific situations, and we're done. We should be winning the league. And we have done none of that. Absolutely none of that. Disgraceful. This fan base has no shame laughing at City for a trophyless season, meanwhile sucking off Arteta for not winning any, or not winning one for over 5 years. Exactly. They act like City have won nothing. Have won nothing. They did a three-peat. They did a quad. They can win everything. They have won everything on the face of the earth. And this is the standard of Man City. Every single season, their aim is to win every single trophy. When you look at Arsenal, oh, we're gonna try our best if the circumstances are, if situation evolves in the right way, if the small margins go in our direction, if Win the Dog has new puppies and everything. Like, fuck's sake. I ain't laughing at City, they do deserve it. Their fan base glory hunters have no loyalty. You can't say about that about everyone. There is a part of the fan base. But let's be real, the fans become Man City fans mostly because they're winning. Yes, you can say it's a glory hunting thing. At the same time, you are drawn to winning. You're drawn to success at the end of the day. And in the last 2 decades, arguably, most successful team in England, Man City. Bro, makes it seem hard as hell to win one trophy, not even one trophy. We couldn't have won FA Cup, no EFL Cup, not even Prem trophy in 21 years. Exactly. That is the worst part in all of this. Let's be real. If I look at Crystal Palace's squad, I would take Mateta, I would take Eze, I would take Wharton, I would take Gehi, I would take even Munoz, the right back. I would take 5 of their players, half of their starting 11. Include last year, I would take Olise as well at Arsenal. So that means they have a very solid squad. Yes, Eze could be available this summer. 68 million release clauses, right? Would I take him at Arsenal? Hell yes, I would. The thing is, they're gonna be in Europa League. They gotta need a big squad to manage 4 cup competitions now. They will sign some players, they will adapt and everything. And if I was in Crystal Palace's shoes, let's be real, I would not be selling these players. Because with this team, how Glasner has implemented his system and his style, we already saw this season how they are playing against big teams and they are tough to beat, right? Especially away. In the second part of the season we saw that, right? I would keep the best players, sign some on top, and they would have actually a pretty damn good chance to win even Europa League. And wouldn't that be something if next season Mikel Arteta again goes trophyless and Palace wins Europa League next season? Think about it. Nketiah won a trophy after leaving Arsenal before Arsenal won a trophy again. Exactly. Slot's first season didn't even have to make any signings worth with what he got and won the league easily. Winning mentality, players winning mentality. Exactly. Arteta has all the excuses in the world. Another short I released, uploaded like 2-3 days ago. If you haven't already, go check out my today short. I uploaded. Yeah, but Arteta has all the excuses. Oh, the pitch was too wet, rain was too heavy, ball was the wrong shape, oh, we have injuries, oh, we had red cards. Don't act like other teams are not in the same position, same situations, and everything. Slot did nothing. Slot is a winning manager. He did well at Feyenoord. He won the league with Feyenoord. He knows how to win. He has a style. He knows how to put the system in. He's playing. He took what he had. He saw that they have some issues in the attack, obviously, finishing-wise. Mo Salah told him, just don't make me track back so I don't have many injuries. I will do the rest with the guys up top. Slot listened, tweaked the system. They became defensively more solid. Mo Salah got all the freedom he needs in the attack. That's it. They won the trophy. Doesn't take much. It just takes a proper manager with proper vision and proper tactics to do it. Especially this season, when Premier League standards are so low to do it. I'm not taking any credit away. I'm not taking any credit away from Liverpool. You can only beat what's in front of you. But Arsenal should have done 10 times better. Nketiah left Arteta's project exactly before him, pretty much instantly. Did it right off the bat. Roll Holding is at Sheffield. They might not even play Champions League football. Palace finally playing some European football. They deserve it. And I'm tired of the man and the other clubs who just don't give a... Exactly. Exactly. And let's be real, it will give Palace a proper exposure. They will have ability to sign better players now as well on top of that. Don't forget about it. And let's be real, if Glasner actually can manage to do it properly, to balance everything, do everything, and stuff like that, they're gonna be very strong in Premier League and very strong in Europe. Our manager has the smallest squad in the league and everything. He doesn't focus too much. He can focus only on one competition at times. It's no wonder that in FA Cups we don't go past third or fourth round. In Carabao Cup we wing it half the time. Somehow we got to semi-finals and we got schooled by Eddie Howe. We cannot focus on 2 competitions at once. Just claiming it to rub into everyone's face. Palace desire football, Bournemouth. It's insane. Insane. Let's be real, in Premier League this season specifically, I would say at least 10 to 11 teams play better football than Arsenal at the end of the day. With worse players. Forget about winning trophies. Arteta can't even make a final of a cup since getting his own team. Exactly. Think about it. He got to the final and won it with Emery/Wenger's team. Then he absolutely destroyed it, built his own team for $750 million, right? And he can't get even to a final anymore. And some of the main players that carry the team, if you think about it, some of the main players that carry or have carried the team through these seasons all have been promoted thanks to Unai Emery. Saka, Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, players like that. All because of Unai Emery, not even Mikel Arteta. City are arrogant glory hunters though. They care about what city and some of the... I'm not getting into that. I live in an area surrounded by Spurs fans. I'm praying this doesn't happen. United is nearly as bad as excuse after excuse for Arteta. Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation for Arsenal. No matter who wins it, it's gonna be rough. United or Spurs, worst season in their lifetime, arguably, still can win a trophy. Obviously, the team that's going to lose the final, it's going to be a very awful season. Potential that any of the managers who lose that final are going to get sacked at the end of the day, right? At the same time, at least they are in a position to win something, despite everything. At least. We are up there somewhere in Premier League and we cannot win anything. If Palace still had Elise, we wouldn't have beaten them at all this season. There is an argument to that. Let's be real, we beat them at home in the league, we beat them in the cup, solely thanks to 2 games Jesus genuinely scored 5 goals. Jesus single-handedly carried us through Crystal Palace. In the cup, he scored a hat-trick, and in the league, he scored a double. I respect Man City, what they've done the past years, dominating the Prem, winning multiple trophies when no one thought they would be big to deserve, but the fans are. But let's be real, Arsenal fans are no better. Arsenal fans are no better. We act the same way. And it's even worse because Man City are winning stuff. So they have an excuse, they have the chest. Our fan base just acts like that because they are entitled and they think that they own something here. They belong here. But based on the last, I would say 8 years, I wouldn't say that. Genuinely wouldn't say that. At least I would have buried the 2 games we played them. Yeah, definitely. Bologna won a trophy instantly. This year without no one believes them. Exactly. Calafiori left the team. Instantly they win a trophy. Oh, but he was their best player. Means nothing. They have Orsolini and players like that, and they carried them over the line. They won the trophy for the first time in something odd years, in about 50 years or something like that. And they did it. Easily. No questions asked. What phase is their manager in? Because they have the same manager who promoted Spezia, the team we got Kivior from, by the way, into Serie A. The same manager. Another winning manager. Made us into a joke club. The trophyless bums. Everyone who leaves the club wins trophies. Exactly, that's what's the nuts part. Everyone who leaves Arsenal wins trophies. That is utterly insane if you think about it. Man United and Spurs lowest league position in any of the 2 teams in European final. It's exactly. Exactly. Obviously, it shows just also the levels of Europa League this season, given that the 2 of the worst, arguably, Premier League teams are in the final. But ultimately, you can only beat what's in front of you. Yeah, Bilbao balled their chances at home, obviously, so that's that. Bilbao were there. Sociedad are not great this season, but they still are a tough matchup, but no matter how you look at it. There were some decent teams in there, let's be real. But at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. If I'm playing in the semi-finals against Bodo Glimt, that's because they deserve to be there. They have beaten teams to get there. You cannot say, oh, it's because the quality is lower. At the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. Oh, we got to semi-finals by beating we beat Bolton, we beat Peterborough and teams like that. So what? It's lottery who you're gonna get. We might as well gotten in another occasion in Carabao first round Man City. And what we would do then? We could have gotten Liverpool. What we would do then? What's the excuse then? Oh, it was too strong. And everything. Just AFTV don't bring us into this. Mostly AFTV and some big part of the fan base. Big up Boy 10, by the way. Big up. We are just not serious club. Exactly. Punks that give us the hate and curse, karma, drag us down. Exactly. And then you have other people who say it's an utter disgrace and you were I don't remember, delinquent, a moron or something like that you want Arteta out. I think Tom Canton said that and something like that. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? Oh, if you cannot see what Mikel Arteta is cooking, if you cannot see the progress. What progress? We are further from the top of the table than we were ever in the last 3 years. The gap from us to Liverpool is the same amount as from us to Bournemouth, who are 10th in the league. Again, we flew out in FA Cup against 10-man Manchester United when Havertz cannot score from 2 yards out, Odegaard cannot score a penalty. We got absolutely annihilated, with no questions asked, lost in Carabao Cup semi-final to Newcastle. And props to them, they won, by the way. Think about it. Oh, I'm not even talking about Champions League. You ask any Palace fan about if they care about the league position in the table, only top Gunners fans care about finishing second over trophies. Exactly. Top 4 is like a trophy. Wenger said that. Arguably one of the worst statements he could have made as the Arsenal manager. Because now, to this day, since he said that, big part of Arsenal's fan base live by that sentence and that statement, and they take it as gospel. So for them, winning FA Cup is beneath Arsenal. That's what they say. Oh, it's irrelevant trophy. Carabao Cup, irrelevant trophy. I'm sorry? The sole reason why we are third biggest team in England are the FA Cups. Sole reason why we have clout, arguably, in England is because of the FA Cups. Mostly, because we have 14 of those damn things. Most in the Premier League. Man City are second with 13. You could argue that that's one of the biggest reasons. Carabao Cup we haven't won in 32 years. Oh, but that cup is beneath us. And everything. How can you say that any cup, is below you? Nobody cares. How can nobody care about the cups? That basically says how good you are. What's the progress happening in your team? League position is either you win it or you lose it. Carabao Cup, it shows how you stack against teams. Obviously, there are more variables in cups because on any given day, any team can beat anyone. But cups make what you are at the end of the day. Nobody cares you finish second 3 times in a row. Nobody bloody cares. Seriously, nobody goddamn cares that you finish second 3 times in a row. Everyone's just gonna remember that you won who is the winner. The club is getting dragged to the ground, no improvements, no trophies, no, just love fests and everything. Exactly. And just Netflix FC and everything, and we just move like that. Just Netflix FC. Progress, no signs of trophies in 6 years, the cup we named and everything. Exactly. What progress? Second again? And that's not even guaranteed. At least in the previous years, we finished second, right? With 7 points behind, 5 points behind City, and then we finished second with 2 points behind City. At least then you can have some sort of an argument regarding that. But ultimately, this season we are 15 points behind. More than 2 times the numbers combined from the previous 2 seasons. Like, seriously? Good evening, big up Hendon, hope you're doing well. If you haven't already, by the way, people, like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the live chat. Irrelevant fucking bum, man, it's a fucking trophy. Exactly. Pep Guardiola also says he loves to win Carabao Cup because it sets the tone for second part of the season. Because it gets you in the rhythm. Winners win trophies. Losers find excuses why they didn't win trophies at the end of the day. And that just shows the mentality of Arsenal's fan base and the club itself, Mikel Arteta included. Because winners win, losers make excuses. And Arteta's excuses are getting more ridiculous by the day, by the way. No one gives up when you finish second last season and season over that just trying FC. You realize every time someone talks about it's always in a joke. Exactly. Winning makes you successful. Exactly. That's what makes you. Oh gee, I don't understand you these days really. Your podcast is all doom, gloom and Arsenal fans, managers bashing. What's going on? We have these challenges. But you're making this space boring. There is a red cross on top of the right of the screen. Close it and move on. Goodbye. Keep your beliefs and keep your that to yourself. I'm entitled to these things. Let's be real. Mikel Arteta said at the end of the last season, don't settle for being second. Don't settle for anything than being the best. I'm not settling. I have seen Arsenal win Premier League once, by the way. The first time I don't count. I have seen Arsenal win FA Cups, numerous under Arsene Wenger. I haven't seen never win us a Carabao Cup. Champions League, none of Arsenal fans have seen that. I want that. I want more cups. I want more trophies. Seriously. And yeah, by the way, as I said, I released a short today, right? talking about that none of the big six teams would take Arteta as the manager. And here was the reply. Where was the reply? I need to find this now, because there was a very big reply to this. Very big reply. Give me a second. It's not here. I cannot find it though. It's really, really insane. It might have been on a video, by the way. But yeah, ultimately they said, oh, but Sir Alex Ferguson, it took him 6 years to win a trophy at Manchester United. 5 years, sorry. Well, he said 6, but technically it's 5, let's be real. So what? You don't include the fact what he did at Aberdeen, that he won everything there, that he was already a proven manager and everything. That doesn't count, right? Trophies are history, not league placement. Trophies build legacy. It's for the fans. Exactly. Trophies build legacy. Trophies build that. And let's be real. If you were an Arsenal fan, when the last time we won the league, weren't you not super excited? Didn't you have extra hop in your step when you went to school, out with friends? You had your Arsenal top on and you could say, you see, you can't chat to me. I won the league. I genuinely just won the league. You had Henry or Bergkamp, Pires, something on your back as well. On top of that, you went out, kicked the ball with your mates and everything. You tried to score like Thierry Henry, like the bottom corner, far corner finish and everything. Celebration, knee slide to the touchline and everything. That's what I grew up on. These days, I don't know. We aren't gonna get new gen fans. Is all exactly. They're not gonna get it. They all support trophy winning clubs. Exactly. They all support clubs that win at the end of the day. That's why most of the fans that growing up right now are Real Madrid fans, Barcelona fans, Inter fans, City fans, Liverpool fans. It's really hard to convince someone to support Arsenal when you have nothing to show for it. Because if you have a kid, right, and you make him an Arsenal fan, and he comes to you, for example, he's 8 years old and everything, he comes to you, for example, 8 years, right? And he says, Dad, what did we win in the last 8 years? And you say, well, we had Unai Emery at the wheel, and well, we got to Europa League final. We won it? No, we lost it. We lost 4-1 to one of the big rivals, Chelsea. They won it. Well, then then he got sacked during next season, and Mikel Arteta came in. We won an FA Cup in the first half year when he was here. That was quite nice. But after that, well, we tried. You didn't win anything else? No, we didn't. We finished second multiple times and everything. We tried at least. And everything. What precedent that sets to other kids? To my kid, for example. Trying is enough? Not so much. If you want to succeed, you want to succeed at the end of the day. Trying is not enough. You need to put something extra on it. Glasner officially is as successful as Arteta in England. Yeah, one trophy. It took genuinely one trophy. Man City fans and Chelsea fans, the glory hunters, the ride of all clubs. Yeah, it's not about finishing second. This is what a lot of Arsenal fails to accept. It's about how the last 2.5 years fans preach finishing second. That narrative used as positive spin. Yet many Arsenal fans did dismiss Prem for Champions League before you ultimately got knocked out. It reflects poorly how you lot moved the goalposts all these years, no? It depends who you're talking to. For me, that when the season starts, I want to be in the final in every single competition, and I want to win Premier League. 2 years ago, we didn't do it. We balled 8 point lead. It hurt, but to some extent, it was hard to swallow, but I could swallow that pill solely because nobody expected that from us. Last year was unacceptable, in my opinion, because we were expected to win it to some extent. I didn't predict, by the way, for all these last 3 seasons, I never predicted we're gonna win the league. In the first season, we finished second. I said we're gonna be in top 4. In the last season, I said we're gonna finish second. And this season as well, I said we're going to finish second. I haven't predicted we're going to win the league, even though I wanted us to win the league. And last season was the worst one, because we had genuine chance to win the league. But we screwed it up. Drawing to 10-man Fulham at home, losing to West Ham, going 1-7 in December. That second part of the season was very nice, I'm not gonna lie, but playing Havertz in the midfield in arguably most important game against Villa and everything, because that definitely did work well in the first half of the season, that's hence why we stopped it, also is not a great thing, let's be real. Don't listen to those ones, they are beyond delusional if they genuinely thought we had a chance of winning the Champions League. Yeah, we have. The thing is, predictions and bookmakers and all these people say, oh, we want Arsenal are favorites to win the Champions League. But have we really? Because we have never done it. We haven't got a big pedigree in Champions League. We have gone to final, well, think about it, how many times? And that still hurts to this day. It's been 20 years almost, and it still hurts. We have been to semi-final 3 times. Like, it's not the greatest of looks. And most of the time when Arsenal are in a position where they are this close to achieving greatness, they always somehow manage to shoot themselves in the foot and volley. We had a decent season. I'm not even gonna bait. I'm not gonna take the bait anymore. I want us to win the Prem. I didn't care about Champions League to realize that when Saka was injured, we are gonna get screwed in the league because we are just Saka FC. To be honest, I had hopes only on Premier League this season. Because from the previous history, he wins all the cups and Champions League was a side piece. But when the summer happened, what we signed and what we didn't sign, kinda, and everything, and that we haven't signed a striker in 3 years since Aubameyang has left 3.5 years, it kinda came pre-evident that we are not so serious about winning it. Because even the season when everyone scored double digits, 3 seasons ago, 22-23 season, right? 2.5 seasons ago, Mikel Arteta himself came out and said that it was an anomaly. We don't need a striker. But it was an anomaly, allegedly. And last season, when we lost to Bayern Munich in the and quarterfinals, Mikel Arteta said, oh, what we can do, we are not clinical enough. We don't need a striker. We need a striker. So it's basically, go figure. Our only shot of a trophy after our summer transfer window was domestic cups. Yeah, Arteta screwed those up though. We never had a chance at the league after that window. Yeah, the biggest thing is, when Rodri got injured and City slowly started to downfall, maybe we could have done it. But we had the full first team, pretty much, when the season started. And everything. Liverpool instantly took the rails almost. Brighton was on top of the table. Liverpool have been on top of the table and everything. Arsenal this season have never been on top of the table. Not even for one day. And the closest we have been to Liverpool is 4 points. 4 points throughout the whole season. That is the closest one. Then on average there are 7 points and stuff like that, or 9 points. And now at the end of the season we are 15 points behind them. Without Saka, the team just is mid-table relegation club. Yeah, without Saka, our attack is, I would say, 9th, 10th or 11th in the league without Saka. Because there are numerous teams in the league who have better attack than we do. Can this be classed as style challenging season, especially if you lose the Newcastle and finish 3rd? When the season began, there were hopes and belief that we're gonna be in title race against Man City. First things first, it was against Man City. Man City had a drop off, and the way Top Gunners said last season and season before even, this team is in a prime position to win the league when Man City falls off. Man City have fallen off this season, and we still are not winning the league. This title race is very hard to say that it has been even a title race throughout the whole season if the closest point tally to Liverpool have been 4 points this season, arguably. There were 1 point and stuff like that in early stages, but ultimately it's been 4, 7, 9, 5, 8, 9, and now we are to 15. We have never been in a proper striking distance. And after summer window, after January window when we didn't sign anyone, no. Genuinely, no siree. Why the fuck sold Ob anyway? Well, he inherited Golden Boot winning Aubameyang, who gave him FA Cup on silver platter, basically. Played him left wing. And obviously he couldn't handle his ego. People would die for second place. Count your blessings, we could be fighting for 16th. Oosa. Oosa. I know this is off topic, Robo, but who is better overall player, Gyökeres, Kocha, or Abedi Pele? Oh my days. For me, it's Gyökeres or Kocha. I'm not gonna lie. But that is quite heavily based on the fact that I have seen him play more than Abedi Pele. I have seen few clips of Pele. I actually have seen Okocha play. That's like, for me, it's very hard to measure. I feel too many excuses have shielded Arteta, and I like him as a coach, but a manager gotta win major honors trophies. Our ultimate legacy can only stay with them. Exactly. There have been too many insane excuses, to say the least. This season more specifically, starting with the ball being the wrong shape, wrong pressure, and everything. Injuries, which is yeah, we had injuries, but is that an excuse after 5 seasons when you have built your own team, after 750 million spent, when you have no backups, and when you turn to your bench, you don't want to sub anyone pretty much on, and when shit has hit the fan, you are turning to 2 teenagers in Ranieri and Miles Lewis-Skelly to save your season. Like, you alone, bro. I would rather finish 10th with 1 or 2 trophies than finish 2nd every year and win nothing and be the meme club. To be honest, to some extent I agree. What title challenge? Exactly. We weren't in a title challenge at all. Exactly. We were never in a striking distance. We have never been in a situation where 1 win takes us over Liverpool. Besides the start of the season when everyone's on 0 points, by the way. Arguably. That's fucking disgraceful for a big club building. Exactly. We moved to Emirates Stadium to win big things. What have done all this time? Nothing, just memes and jokes. We have won few FA Cups. And that's about it. I'm not gonna lie, that's about it. Arguably, moving from from Highbury to Emirates, Arsenal kind of have lost their edge, their soul, to some extent. It's not the same. Did we ever get within 3 points of Liverpool this season? No games in hand nonsense, please. Exactly, no. 4 points closest. Then 7, and afterwards it just gone worse and worse, arguably. We were even, I think it was, when was it? December to January. We were few points, we were like 5 or 7 points behind them. We had some games in hand, and if we won those games, we would be in a striking distance. And we balled them, obviously. My answer is Gyökeres Koch, my favorite African player ever. I get that, totally respect that. I can see also why. We never ever even been above Liverpool. No, only in the table we were above Liverpool once this season. Once. When the season started and everyone was on 0 points, solely due to alphabetical order. That's when we were above Liverpool. We will win something next year, believe in Arteta. Well, I have no proof that he can do it in 5 years. So until he does something, until he wins something, or ultimately he gets sacked trying, I'm not gonna believe. I have no proof. Genuinely no proof. And it is what it is. If he wins me a trophy, I will sit here and say, congratulations to Arsenal, congratulations to Mikel Arteta. You finally have proven me wrong that you can get it over the line and win a trophy. But so far, no. No. Not even clear in the big 6, the Prem table ones. Yeah, could have went to 5 points if you won at West Ham, but you drew and Liverpool pulled away. Exactly. There's always those what if scenarios, and when always the pressure has gotten the toughest, the roughest to Arsenal, when they basically it's a must-win situation, it mostly has come to a point Basically, when Arsenal shoot themselves in the foot, they always screw it up somehow. To some extent, we are our own worst enemy. What month did you play West Ham? I don't remember. West Ham. It was at home. We lost 2-0. When was it, West Ham? I forgot now. No, that was 2023. Never mind. 2025. I think it was this season. 1-0. We lost in February. In February, we lost to them. He knows exactly what we need. Even Man U were on top once. Yeah. And the only time we were top of the league was before kicked off only the fact the club starts with an A and puts us up top. Exactly. That is the only reason. Sorry I didn't get to your comment before that, but that is the case. That is the actual case, I'm not gonna lie. That was the only time. Moving stadium matters, you know, gotta mention that. To some extent it feels that way. It genuinely feels that way, to maximum extent. We have yeah. It's not so easily recoverable history after moving. Exactly, because all of Arsenal's history, pretty much, is at Highbury. All of Arsenal's biggest wins, achievements are at Highbury. If you think about it. Biggest cup wins, biggest wins, most dramatic matches, arguably even. Exactly, it's not so easy. It's definitely not so easy. Liam Falcon's joke. Arteta isn't gonna win anything here. Look at him trying to be mastermind and refusing to play Banjiri, his most likely option of a goal without Saka. Exactly. Just like we have certain players and we have some tools to actually do something. This team is, in my opinion, totally meant for attacking, not defending, first of all, and total control. But hey, Arteta doesn't want to unleash the team's full potential. He did that once, he got burnt, and he hasn't turned it back since. Not negative, realistic. There's a big difference. All Arteta learned from... But the biggest thing is, for always negative, if you cannot take criticism, that's not up to me. Because I've taken lots of criticism in my life due to my actions, due to my words, and due to situations I've created, have resolved even in a positive light, and even then I have gotten criticism. And so far, it's not looking good, is it? All Arteta learned from Pepe's ego. Dragging us down so bad that even Man U in 16... Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but still. Joking B is gonna do a heel turn when Spurs win the Europa League nonsense. Oh, there will be excuses. There will be excuses. Oh, but they are 16th or 17th. There will be something like that. Believe in fucking what, he isn't doing anything. No improvements, no signs, common sense, no getting better or better. Exactly. Faith is important. Look at Palace fans. To have faith, you have to get somewhere. I had faith last season. I had faith the season before when we were 8 points clear. But based already how the season began, who have we signed over the last few summers, and the fact that our attack has been the same pretty much since Jesus, we signed Gabriel Jesus and Trossard, I have no faith. I have basically hopium and copium. You know what it is? I feel it's right manager at the wrong time. If Arteta had went elsewhere, exactly, elsewhere for a first job and gain experience and came to Arsenal now, he could have maybe there's a big possibility of that. Because credit where credit is due. Arteta is not a bad coach. Manager is a bit questionable, but he doesn't know sometimes what he's doing. He has the deer in headlights look. Many times when you look at the subs. 100%. And if he had gone to, let's just say, Cadiz, Elche, Cardiff, wherever, lower end team, to learn the craft, 100%, if he then got a bigger job, it would make lots of sense. Then definitely he would be better. 100%. Right? But the fact that we gave a kindergarten graduate a CEO position with no experience, it is basically a self-destruct button waiting to happen. not even Palace kept holding, but Arteta played holding ahead of this new signing, Kiwior, and it cost us the league. Yeah, to some extent, yeah. Although Kiwior also at the time wasn't too hot. Let's be real. Pause, not like that. I'm tired of 6 years. If Big Kiwi can start, potentially. And to be honest, think about it. Saliba got injured 2.5 years ago in the 22-23 season. We still haven't bought a replacement for Saliba if he gets injured. By the way, because I don't want to hear Timber center back and White at center back. It's not that kind of situation. We don't have a proper backup, a proper center back, and specialist in his position. Because I'm a strong believer in the fact that you need specialists in certain positions for the team to work properly. Hence center backs, goalkeeper, number 6, striker, and stuff like that. Then you can maybe try and have some mix and match in there, right? And we are where we are. We got Super Calafiori, he will come good next year. I wouldn't put my money on it, I'm not gonna lie, because at left back he's been very suspect. He's injured half the time, what it feels like. Miles Lewis-Skelly is playing in front of him as a left back even, right? So the only option is at left-sided center back, where we haven't seen him pretty much at all. So, coming straight out of Pep's coaching staff into the first team, big job without proper experience to save Arsenal from doing a Manchester United, yeah. And the worst part is, not worst part is, but the fact is that Mikel Arteta, whilst being assistant manager to Pep Guardiola, was the head coach for one game, main manager, in Champions League against Lyon, where they lost. They lost at home at Etihad to Lyon. First loss for Manchester City at home in Champions League that whole season, and that basically eliminated them from the Champions League, and I think it was the first loss in about 20 odd games at home in Champions League. I had real faith, exactly, I had real faith in 22-23 season, that was the last time, because of the football, how we played and how we present ourselves. We struck fear into teams at the time with the blitz attack we could have actually possessed, and teams were afraid actually of us. We all saw that. I knew we were not going to win the league last season soon as Arteta started playing Havertz up front. To be honest, playing Havertz up front kind of rescued the season for the second part, because Havertz was in midfield for the first part mostly of the season, where we had the shambles against and Partey as a right back, by the way, where we drew against 10-man Fulham, we lost to West Ham, we went 1-7 in December. He put Havertz up top. He actually started to score some goals. The issue was that also against Aston Villa, by the way, against Aston Villa at home, a game that pretty much decided our fate, that was the final nail in that season's coffin, he again decided for some weird goddamn reason put Havertz in the midfield once again. Big up Luca, hope you're doing well. Go subscribe to Luca. In hindsight, you can probably predict how his career has went, and it's not too surprising, yeah. And I kind of believe that if he goes to a different club, he actually might win there something. Specifically in La Liga, for example, or Serie A maybe even, right? Premier League, I'm not too sure. Not sure at all. And the fact is that Arteta is building his own resume whilst being at Arsenal, by the way, not at other teams. Learning on the job even in the Champions League these first couple of seasons, exactly. And for Premier League, for each club, arguably, there are small windows when you have a chance to win them. Unless you're Man City in the last 10-15 years, right? But think about it. We had a chance to win the league about 15 years ago. We balled it. We had a chance to win it in Leicester's season. We were the only team who beat them home and away, but somehow Giroud forgot how to score. We had a chance. We balled it. We had a chance to win the league last season and season before. We screwed it up. We balled it again. And the biggest thing is, those windows always close. Then there is a gap of 4 or 5 years, and then the window opens again. And I'm afraid that we are again in that situation where Arsenal basically, the window's going to close, we're going to fight for top 4, and maybe something's going to happen in between. And we have to wait until the window opens again. That is the worst part. These last 3 seasons were the chance for us to win the league. We haven't done it. Next season, Liverpool will get stronger. City is going to be back 100%. Newcastle going to get stronger. What's going to happen to Villa? Chelsea, United, who knows what's going to happen with them and everything. If United win, they get in Champions League, more money, more exposure and everything. More variables. And the worst part is, in the last window specifically this summer, we didn't close the gap to Man City per se, right? Because we didn't know about Liverpool then. We didn't close gap to Man City. We allowed other teams that were behind us to catch up to us. That is the worst part. Arteta doesn't rotate, so he'll never especially see me back up to Saliba. It is what it is. I guess we have to make amends with that. This guy Arteta, man, what has he learned over these 5 years? That's the biggest question, because he still makes the same mistakes he did when he just got the job. That's the worst part. Lost not enough to get over the line in big moments, big games consistently. Exactly. And that is the thing. In the biggest games, we tend to crumble the most. We had chances and we didn't take them. That is the worst part of them all. Does anyone remember the FA Cup winning season? Well, I do. With the lockdown and all, Arteta rotated every three games. Now he learned not to rotate. I think he rotated also partially because he didn't know the team. It wasn't his team. He was just winging it on the fly. At the same time, we played 5 at the back, Tierney as a left wing back, over the top balls of the high line to Aubameyang to run in behind and everything. It worked like a charm. That's why we won that cup. Let's be real, 5 at the back and over the top. And nobody cared how we played. We won the cup. Let's be real. But we have never gone it back to since. We haven't taken a glimpse of that. Our first time plays every match cup. Matches they shouldn't even be playing in the nonsense matches. Yeah. Havertz playing up front just means Jesus and Nketiah had failed, and due to injuries or other due to not having the ability. That was the signal that we weren't winning in 23-24. Yeah, arguably, yeah. You can take that. And we still got up there. That's the biggest thing. We got it up there. Pause. We got it to the place that we actually could do it. But again, one dumb mistake to play Havertz from striker into midfield against Aston Villa at home, and we done. He screwed it up. But we missed 100 chances, relied on defense. Yeah, that is also a big thing. In these 5.5 years, Mikel Arteta has totally neglected our attack. And just piece by piece made his defense. And he's still signing defenders, by the way. Consistently, every single season. Which means even building defense is not done. We have 750 million spent. About 250 on defense. About 350 on midfield. And only 150 on attack. The least amount invested from these 750 million is on the attack. I believe that season with Arteta, when you were 10 points clear, yeah, that was our best shot, 100%. And arguably, to some extent, it was our last shot. Last season was a bit different, but hey, you'll look back at that if you have trouble winning in the future. Exactly. That just like we look back at Liverpool, at Leicester season, we had a chance, we didn't. We screwed it up again. We had a chance to win it before. We again screwed it up. We didn't. We always look back at these things. Always. By the way, C15 Reese. If you talk about you'll look back, you were 10 points clear. Which club do you support then? Crystal Palace? I don't want to say Jordan Reese. Like Liverpool? Actually, why did Arteta keep Nketiah when Palace and West Ham were offering 60 million for him? We kept him the whole extra season and he lost 30 million of his value. Well, he saw something in him, or Nketiah had Arteta's nude and he was blackmailing him. Who knows? We are already looking back at 22-23 season. Exactly, that's the worst part. It's been 2 years ago, but we are already looking back at it. What is happening at my club? The Spurs are in the final. Oh, you support Newcastle. Congrats on Carabao Cup. Congrats on Carabao Cup. And I think you're going to win tomorrow, by the way. Just putting it out there. Anyways, quickly through these news, and then we're going to talk a bit about Newcastle game, and I'm going to wrap it up. Apparently, according to rumors from Portugal, Viktor Gyökeres and Arsenal have reached a full agreement that Sporting striker wants to join the North London, right? And there is more on this. There is more on this somewhere. Here it is. Arsenal, the deal is pretty much done, and they're just waiting on the season to finish. That is basically what it's saying here. 60 million now, 75 million overall. With add-ons, Gyökeres will get 8 million a season. And Gyökeres is winning the league, isn't he? Where is Portugal? Portugal. Sporting won. Sporting have won the league. Sporting have won the league. Standings. Yeah, Sporting have won the league. 2 points of Benfica. Sporting have won the Portuguese league. In other news, Arsenal have approached Real Madrid to sign Rodrigo. Let's see what happens with this. Because this is very vague rumors around that. In other news, goalkeeper news, Tommy Setford, making friends, Tommy, has officially been promoted to the Arsenal's first team ahead of next season. Might not sign a goalkeeper then, I guess, huh? Kivior, Napoli and Conte are very interested in him. Also AC Milan are interested in Kivior. Arsenal have won 35 million euros, so 10 million more than we signed him for, apparently. And of course, since Bundesliga season finished, right? Bundesliga season finished, and RB Leipzig haven't made Europe, by the way. They have not made Europe, which means that according to reports, Xavi Simons and Sesko are gonna become available. Hopefully Arsenal don't sign Sesko, because if we sign Sesko, the stream that's gonna happen on Sesko and this disgrace of this club is gonna be next level, to say the least. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be next level. Anyhow, a little bit about the Newcastle game. Let's talk a bit about the Newcastle game, because we have to. It's tomorrow. It's the battle for the second place. It's the battle for second place, because this game for us is a massive must-win game where there are no excuses if we don't win it. So, starting 11. What we saying? Starting 11 for this game. Gyökeres scores again, yeah. We're on the rise, we ain't slowing down, yeah. And with the money you most likely will be able to spend this summer, not worry about PSR, FFP and all those buzzwords. It's scary hours. There's a big possibility that if you get it right this transfer window, right? This transfer window, next season you could be going for the title, by the way. There is a possibility. So they're saying Gyökeres is already an Arsenal player. Well, there are ITK rumors that everything has been agreed, salary has been agreed, but since Sporting need to finish the league, which happened today, and they are still in a cup final, which they have to play. After those games, the situation will be announced and be much more clear. Let's just put it that way. As long as he's not another Pepe. Dude, Pepe was so misused at Arsenal. So misused. He's our best choice for 60 odd million of fair market value. Exactly. And the worst part is, the longer he stays on the market, the more we drag this on, the bigger chance is some other team will come in and swoop him up. And then we're gonna be left with nothing. Or Sesko at the end of the day. I've never seen this Setford youth's face in my life. This stream was first time. We signed Setford last summer from Ajax Academy, by the way. That's about it. And I think he played in Carabao Cup for Arsenal. Arsenal versus Peterborough. I think it was the... let me check this quickly. Arsenal Carabao Cup. Bolton, Preston. I think it was Bolton. No, Porter was against Bolton. Preston, I think Setford played. Yeah, see, Setford played against Bolton. 3-0 win. Against Preston, sorry. Preston 3-0 win away. Setford played the game. That was the game he played for the main squad. Pepe was underrated. Didn't you have most goal? He carried us through Europa League as well, Pepe, at that time. Just due to the fact that he was so misused due to the style and how we wanted to play. He never clicked, because you look how he plays for Villarreal at the moment. He is balling out like no tomorrow. I'm gonna be on Rashid. They are talking with three more films. Okay. 35, yeah. They are watching the streams. Arsenal fan from Uganda. We agree with Andrea San Gyökeres. Big up Mubarak Nabongo. Big up Uganda. Big up. And yeah, Gyökeres or Osimhen. Osimhen wants 12 million net, by the way, which is about 400 grand a week nearly, something like that after tax. Before tax, it's nuts. I already accepted that Newcastle beat us. I have as well, I'm not gonna lie. Huge game, no team have ever beaten Arsenal 4 times in a season. Also, you went one to finish third or two in a 2-horse. We could finish 5th in a 2-horse race, by the way. There is a possibility of that as well. We can finish 5th in a 2-horse race, by the way. If we lose against you guys and against Southampton, God forbid, although against Southampton they are our bogey team, by the way, as well. If we lose or draw against Southampton, there's a possibility we finish even 4th or 5th if the results go in specific direction. What's wrong with not established, still developing? Arsenal want established. Exactly. Personally, I don't want any new players who need to adapt, who are not proven. He cannot even score 20 goals in Bundesliga. I want players who are proven, who are win now, who slot into the team and instantly bring the fire. We at the moment are not in a position to wait to develop someone. If we signed Sesko, for example, in the second season when Mikel Arteta was our manager, I could accept that, right? In 21-22 season, I could accept that. Right now, no chance. One may argue that. Yeah, that's the thing. The only thing I remember from that Bolton game was that Ranieri scored. Yeah, I totally get that, yeah. I always thought Pepe was good, just Arteta dismissed him. Yeah, he did. Finally, someone being honest about Sesko. I like Sesko, wouldn't mind signing him. Big up boy 10. Then sign Eze, Gyokeres. That's the biggest thing. After this FA Cup win, Crystal Palace, big up to them once again, and they're in Europa League, they will try to hold on to their best players as tight as they can. Because Glasner has a good possibility, if he gets his transfers correct this summer, to actually go very far in Europa League as well. And let's be real, Crystal Palace are not going to win the league, they won't be in Champions League spots. So if Crystal Palace win Europa League, they might get into Champions League for the season afterwards. The way Crystal Palace are playing, they will be a tough matchup for anyone. The Glasner, how they have this team drilled. Pause. I think we would have won a trophy this season with Sesko. In that regard, yes, but the biggest thing is we cannot talk about desperation as well. We need to also talk about the fact that even when you are the most hungry, right, even broccoli, if you hate it, right, even looks like a lobster to you. Let's be real. So in that regard, yes, if we had Sesko, you can argue, and in the cups we might have won it, right? Instead of Havertz against United missing from 2 yards out, and all that crap, right? It could have happened. At the same time, we kind of cannot lower our standards, because this season's a write-off as well. Mbeumo going to the two. You are signing Mbeumo? Oh my days. Is it confirmed or is just a rumor, by the way? Because I would love to have also Mbeumo at Arsenal. But he doesn't fit the system Mikel Arteta wants to play, though. That is the biggest thing. That is the biggest issue here. I know Arsenal fans are starving because they're still talking about Watkins. Yep, he's still on the cards. He's still on the links and books and everything. But yeah, anyways, starting 11 against Newcastle, right? I'm putting in Raya. That's kind of given. White. Yo, name me your starting 11s against Newcastle, by the way. Kivior. Kelly. Partey. Mosquito guard, of course. Cannot forget him. Zinchenko. I'm gonna put Martinelli, assuming he's all okay. Saka. Oyedeji. Rumor heard that he said enjoys Newcastle. Oh, that could... Dude, if you sign Mbeumo for that right wing instead of Murphy, that actually would be phenomenal for you. Merino has a red card. He cannot play. Remember, he got a red card against whoever we just played, Liverpool. Is Timber fit? The thing is, in the open training, he wasn't training at all. He wasn't training at all. He was in his street clothes and he was going around with Gabriel both in casual wear clothes. So Timber doesn't look like he's going to be playing. Only thing is, if Arteta has any balls, he would do this. He would basically do this. Because this is the last game for Kieran Tierney at Arsenal at home at the Emirates. If he wants to give him a proper send-off, he has to start him. If he wants, as he said in an interview, he wants to show his appreciation, the love and everything, like Kieran Tierney lad and all this stuff, you have to start him. Don't give a crap. It's his last home game and everything, unless Celtic come to us in Champions League or something. It's his last home game at Emirates. So start him as a left back. And then put Miles Lewis-Skelly in the midfield. That's what I would do. If Arteta has any balls, he would do that. For me, he used to play for Newcastle as a CDM and we appreciate him, to be fair, on loan. Was he good for you? Because from what I remember for you, for Newcastle, he wasn't that good. Obviously, he was very young at the time, but he didn't lift the trees or anything, let's be real. Raya, Timber, White, Saliba, Kivior, Calafiori, Partey, MLS, Odegaard, Saka, Manieri, Martinelli. Arteta doesn't give two shits about Tierney, so he won't even make it on the bench, I bet. That's the biggest thing. Arteta spoke so highly about the fact that the last game at Emirates for Tierney and Jorginho, and he's injured obviously, and all this stuff. And if he is actually man of his word, that he wants to give them a proper send-off, love to the fans and everything, he will start him. Let's be real. He would start him if he wants to give him a proper send-off. If he's not lying, as he does mostly in the interviews many times. He would give him a proper send-off, let's be real. He would start him. Big up Pepper, by the way, big up. Butler and Deji should have played a lot more, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I would do this. White, Saliba, Kivior, Tierney, midfield of Partey, Lewis-Skelly and Odegaard. And then in the attack, I would assume that Zinchenko. Martinelli is good, so he's left wing. Saka plays right wing. The number 9 position is tough. But I would put Butler or Yedeji there. The biggest question mark though is this... I don't have this image anymore, I'm very sorry. But Havertz was pictured today in the training with Saliba in physical contact. So there is a possibility that we might see this back again. There is a possibility. But if push comes to shove, I would start Butler or Yedeji. It's kind of crazy we are letting Kieran Tierney go and Calafiori hasn't actually demonstrated to be better than him. He's not better than him. Going forwards, maybe runs-wise and shooting-wise, yes. But crossing, defending, agility, covers, no. Tierney just easily annihilates him. Was pretty decent on loan. We had Rafa Benitez, proper Rafa player, and we lacked technical players back then, so he kind of stood out at times. I get that, and to be honest, we lack technical players as well, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, Merino, the worst part is Merino has played for us at midfield and at striker. He's at striker for us 10 times better than he's been at midfield for us. That's the ironic part and weird part about this. Wanyeri, right wing, Nelly, Trossard. He's gonna play Odegaard, let's be real. He's gonna play him. Rice is injured. He's not gonna play. Or is... Oh no, Rice was in the training. He was. So if Rice is not injured, Rice is gonna play that left 8 no matter what. Let's be real, that hamstring injury. I'm so done with Havertz if he starts. Yep. Merino is the most suspect Spanish midfielder I've seen in my life. Hey, I get that. I totally get that. I don't even start. Wait, let's check this quickly. I'm live longer than I should have been going, but it is what it is. Yeah, see? Declan Rice was in the training. See, this I don't like. This is utter and total disgrace from Arsenal fans. But Declan Rice is in training, so I would actually then put Declan Rice in the midfield. If it actually happens. If it happens. Wanyeri better start, obviously. But I think this could be... Oh... This actually could be the case. This actually could be this, couldn't it? We actually could see this tomorrow, if push comes to shove. You'll appreciate him more soon, it's just he's been forced into a striker position as he presses as well does. That's the thing, at striker he is better than midfield. He's played like somewhat games in midfield, somewhat games in striker. At striker he's much better, which is the weird part. I can imagine him reverting back to CM like, oh he will 100%, especially if we sign a striker. So yeah. Anyways, predictions for the game. My Arsenal heart is saying 2-1 Newcastle. Because we haven't won against them this season at all. We haven't scored against them this season. And it's 5-0 on the aggregate against Newcastle this season. That's my Arsenal heart is saying that we're gonna lose. Isn't that telling already a lot? If I go with my brain, I'm going 3-0 Newcastle. 3-0 Newcastle I'm going. Pepper is going 2-0 Newcastle. Isn't that rough if you're an Arsenal fan these days? But yeah. To some extent, this season definitely. Last season as well to a certain extent. But I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle. I'm gonna fully commit and go 2-1 Newcastle. For me as a Geordie, my heart says 2-1 Newcastle, my brain says 2-2. The thing is, we haven't scored against you this season. You are still fighting for Champions League spot, which means you must win, actually. Arsenal needs to win to secure second place even. So, it's gonna be a rough one. Good luck tomorrow. Genuinely good luck tomorrow. I'm committing to 2-1 also. See? I'm committing to 2-1 as well. 2-1 Newcastle, I'm saying. As an Arsenal fan, by the way. He's a Newcastle fan. He's a Toon. He's saying 2-1 Newcastle, by the way. Big up to you, by the way. But yeah, I'm expecting very tough and very physical game. Botman, I think he's injured still for Newcastle, but the midfield, I think, is gonna eat us alive. I genuinely think... That's the thing, I don't as well. I don't give a damn about second place. How went to learn football from Simeone, and Simeone has spent his managerial career developing an anti-tiki-taka style of football. How is Arteta's kryptonite? Exactly. And that has been showing. He was the first manager in the 22-23 season who came to Emirates and shut us down completely. First 15 minutes we played against them end to end. He saw that they're gonna get pammed because we had about 6 chances or 5 and we didn't score, and he instantly switched it like he plays like now, and we got stumped. We didn't do anything. He was the first guy who showed the blueprint in 22-23 season how to stop Arsenal. It won't help nothing. Arteta doesn't even play good tiki-taka, exactly. If we lose, it goes down to the last day versus Everton, which is ropey. Exactly, last game. Is it at Newcastle? If it's at Goodison, the last game at Goodison, it's gonna be rough for you lot. Which is ropey. Arsenal can technically get a draw and still reach Champions League. Big game for us, exactly. But yeah, I'm going 2-1 Newcastle. I uploaded the short today. Go check it out, by the way. It's about about Big Six and would they take Arteta as their manager. Like it, comment, leave a comment on it. And yeah, hope I'm gonna see you tomorrow after the game, as always, about 8 p.m. UK time. Have a nice evening. Take care. Enjoy football. You have been fantastic. Big up C15 Reese. Big up Marlon, Boyton, Pepper. Who else was there? Big up the top gooners who came by as well. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, by the way. And yeah, big up YouTube Sensors, big up Luca, big up Joking B, big up everyone. You've been quite phenomenal today. But for today, I am piecing the scene. So take care, stay safe, and see you all soon.